All right. How's it going, everyone? My name is Kelvin Perez, and I've been a software developer for more than 8 years, probably going on 9 years now. And what I'm doing is coding every day until I manifest a remote tech job. So that is my goal because right now I don't have a job and I have the skills, and like I say in all of my introductory videos, um, this guy Philip Choi, he inspired me, and basically this is the video that inspired me.
You want to win in tech?
And hilarious. um the main premise to the video is to build a full stack project. So the reason why I'm going with TanStack is because it is much better than Next.js, I think, in my opinion. And I've used Next.js and I don't like the direction that they've gone with it. So I was basically building my own TanStack framework because I was using TanStack Router, and eventually I was just building the same thing, and I was like, hey, let me just try TanStack Start. Might as well, right? So that's what I did. And for the last two videos, I've been trying to migrate from my old workflow, which I have a mono repo set up with Turbo. And I'm basically, at first, I had a server with Elysia.js, but now I'm just going full TanStack Start because the idea is to have a cross-platform app, but I'm not gonna have this like monolithic repo. Basically, I want an API. TanStack Start has API endpoints. It also has RPC endpoints. So we could do the best of both worlds, right? And what I'm gonna use for the authentication is better auth. And then we're gonna integrate all this stuff today. And then we're using Drizzle for the database layer with Postgres. We're using Postgres. And then for payments, we're going to use Polar.sh. So we're going to build a end-to-end application, full stack application. And beauty about this is that Polar.sh integrates with everything we're using. It integrates with BetterOff, integrates with TypeScript. I even saw TanStack Start. So everything, for the most part, integrates with each other. And then in the future, we're gonna use React Native so that we could have an Android and an iOS app. So that's in the future. That is the goal here, guys. So today we're going to get to work on wiring everything up now that I'm only using TanStack Start. Because before I was using Elysia as a backend, I had this whole thing going on, right? So I've already initialized the project here on localhost 3000. So this is a fresh project. I love how once you generate the project, they give you a ton of examples. You know, begin your TanStack journey by editing source route index.tsx. I love this. Like, honestly, this feels very developer friendly. I just love the consideration, the thoughtfulness of this app, of this whole ecosystem, honestly. Like, you got store, forms. So anytime you add like one of their packages, it literally just gives you examples. It's awesome. Drizzle is not working because I probably have to wire it up. So let's do that first. Okay, so let me start casting here. Oh, I don't know why we can't see that. Quit. Key caster. Okay. I don't know why that's there. Should be somewhere like down here. All right, so we're gonna start a timer up here. Eventually, I'm gonna get the timer on the screen, but for right now, we're just gonna keep cooking, man. Just want to make progress. All right, so there's that. So you can see what I'm actually typing. So like I said, we had a server. So basically, I'm assuming that this is what we need to bring in. Also, I need to figure out a way to hide my env variables. I haven't found a good way. I actually might make a NeoVim plugin. I'm using NeoVim. And I'm using Zellige. So Zellige is my terminal multiplexer. But I'm gonna go into NeoVim real quick. And hey, I want to, let me actually do this. Super. There we go. Hey, so, okay. So now that's working. Man, I always type clear when it's slash clear. So let me go here. We're just gonna exit out of the whole entire thing. So I'm using Cloud Code, but with GLM. So I'm gonna say, hey, I want to build a NeoVim plugin that when I am in a .env file, it hides the env variables because I do live streams and screen recordings of my code. And sometimes I accidentally go into the env file and, you know, I expose my keys and I don't want to do that. It brings a lot of stress. So I wanted to work with all the extensions of .env. So like .env.local, .env.dev, production, etc. And all I want to happen is that there's two modes. The one mode is on by default. It hides whatever's inside of the string or whatever's after the equal sign, because sometimes it might just be equal and then value. Or it might just be equal and then string and then values inside the string. So, and then that's on my default. And then I just want a shortcut to enable and disable it. And that's it. It's a very simple plugin. And basically, I primarily work with JavaScript and TypeScript files and stuff like that. So yeah, that's about it. I want a plugin that does that. You know, one thing I haven't done is I don't think I've committed my code recently. Update dot files. Yeah, I haven't done that in a while. Let me just do that. Update all my dot files. Okay, so this is the cool thing about Cloud Code. If I'm able to one-shot this, that's pretty impressive, I would say. Let's see. All right. Okay, so all right, so let's test this out. Highs values after. Okay, leader EV. Visual masking uses to mask sensitive. Yep, hide up as a type. Only visual masking doesn't change actual file. Okay. So Z and Vim. And so custom env hide and nitalu. So 177 lines. Okay. I mean, first I just want to test it. Let's so these are the docs. Where's the env? Wow. Oh my gosh. This works. EV? Bro. I'm releasing this. Look at that. That's clean, bro. Because then what I could do is it's on by default. Wow, that was way easier. See, this is why I love AI. Like, to get that type of speed of like idea to something, it's insane. So like, for example, by default, I'm in privacy mode, right? If I'm like, hey, I need to check my, like for example, okay, I need to update something in my env file. And then I'm like, all right, cool. I went to my env file. I didn't expose anything. And then I go to privacy mode. And then now EV, right? EV. And then I'm able to like update stuff. And then done, right? That's beautiful. That's literally so simple and beautiful. That is literally it. There's nothing more. And then now what I'm gonna do, let me get out of privacy mode here. What I'm going to do now is it's simple, right? I'm gonna go to Cloud Code because I want to understand. Right? Like I don't want to just be a script kiddie. This is the new script kiddie now. Like I want to know how this works, you know? Okay. Okay, so pattern matching logic. The is env file function uses vim function match, which expects vim regex patterns, but the config patterns are shell style globs. This mismatch means patterns like won't work as expected. Okay. Column position off by 1 when setting the exit mark column start is set to equal position, the position of, but this creates an overlay starting at the character self rather than after it should be, since Lua strings are one index, but X marks use 0 index columns. This is literally programming in a nutshell. Off by 1 errors. Value length calculation. The code gets value.line, which includes trailing white space. This means the masking will extend beyond the actual value if there's trailing white space, inefficient redrawing. So main issues. The plugin rescans and remasks the entire buffer on every text change and text changed I event, which could cause performance issues with different function use different delay times. 10 milliseconds for different events could cause flickering fixes. Here's a corrected version of the critical functions. 4.env. What did I say? Oh, I just pasted the, okay. So this is good because now we actually have Claude code. So here are some updates we can do to the plugin. So now, you know, we're going back and forth, right? Different eyes. So we're gonna fix it, even though it kind of looked okay to me, but I don't know. I'm not a Lua programmer, and I don't know everything about NeoVim. I just like that you could do this, like literally. I like the fact that I could literally just essentially vibe code a plugin. That's super cool. And I think that's awesome. You can literally, that's the thing about NeoVim, right? Like you could literally customize it to your liking, right? Like VS Code is cool, Cursor is cool, but there's nothing like this, honestly. Like, especially once you get the workflow down packed. So let's test it in production. So this is web.old env. That didn't work. Maybe. Load file. So why does it work here, but not over there? That is the actual question. That is the question. Let me see if I can say vim dot project SelfVision. No. Let me go vim. Okay. Nope. That still doesn't work. What does it say? Ignoring swap file. Okay. So it works here, which is very interesting. Okay. Custom. So I wonder if it still works. Close. It's gonna create a test file. I think it's just gonna re-implement from scratch, which is interesting. Well, it's kind of preparing it for production, which is cool. Envy Hide is a cool name. Yeah, like this is the coolest thing, man, honestly. This is so cool that in a matter of minutes, instantly have something that's useful that's solving a problem for me. And then once we get this done, we should be done in a few minutes. Then we could just start coding and not feel, yeah, not feel like we're missing out on something. Okay, now I gotta test it out, but theoretically, should be able to publish this. Okay. Okay. So literally just env hide toggle. Non-destructive, only visual masking. Okay, so let's test this out. So now we have plugins, env hide. Looks like we made an extras, but there's nothing in there. So we're just gonna delete that. This is the example of Lua, env. How many lines? We have 269 now. Okay. Yeah, that's much bigger. Okay, so yeah, like for me to have written this, that would have taken a little bit of time. So env.example. Okay, so the plugin should always hide the values by default and allow the user to off. This is the funny thing. You're absolutely right. It always says this. So there's an issue with the toggle test. I'm checking if this rather than last one. Okay. All right. Let's see. This looks a little way too hot compared to the music. Let me test. All right. So let me test prototype. Um. Okay. env hide status shows current plugin state, and then all right. So leader ev. All right. So let's quit out there. So vim.example. See, the first iteration worked, which is interesting. Like, the first implementation worked. And then when I try to fix it, like, this worked. Can we go back to this? Can we go back to this? Worked. Yeah, like this worked. It was off by default, and it's simple, right? I feel like the first version was simple. It got too complex. Plugin metadata is not too bad. Keep the plugin. Okay, so invalid plugin spec. I gotta figure out how to actually go to that screen and copy. I still don't know how to do that. Yeah, I gotta figure out how to make this an actual plugin. Let's see if that works. Okay. So custom plugins, gamified. All right. Only one. Okay. All right, let's test it. There we go. There we go. It kind of shows it for a frame though. Yeah, it does show it for a frame. Yeah, you see, it's funny because sometimes sometimes when you one shot something, it just works. And then you try to do more prompts and it kind of messes it up, which is very interesting. Like, that is not what I want. Because that is still revealing it. Yeah, like you see it for like one frame. All right, so I load the file. Maybe I didn't notice that on the first attempt, that it was flickering, but okay. All right, so can you either immediately just for the load, and then after that Okay, so let's see. All right, Vim, local, no flicker. Look at that. But then, that's fine. That's way better. Yeah, that's way better. Okay, so now we just need to test this on the actual thing, because sometimes it's not working, which is weird. All right, so I mean, this is not even real. None of these are actually real, so I don't care. Yeah, like none of these values are actually real, so this is just literally for testing purposes. Created env hide.env repository relation from Stripe API. Oh, that's funny. All right. All right. Can you fix my Git? Try to commit a bunch of okay. This is something I don't know how to do. This is actually something I use Cloud Code for a lot. Is for Git, managing Git, which is interesting. Okay, so it's git filter branch force index filter remove prune empty tag name filter cow. Git filter repo. Filter branch. I could have also done filter repo. That's another one. So all right, that's gonna fix that so I could publish this. And then while that's happening, let's go to SelfVision Quest here. And then env. There we go. It's working. Yes. That's fire. Look at that. On local. Let's go to one that I don't want to show, like the server. Nothing. Look at that. Ooh, this is so good. Fire. Look at that. You can't see it, but I can see it. There we go. Yes. Yes, that is fire. That is actually working. Nuts. All right, so and then it pushed. That's not okay. So everything is pushed. Let me check my GitHub here. If I go to my dot files, I should see we just pushed this commit here, which is this one. And then if we go to Lua, custom plugins, there we go. So look, even production.env, staging.env. Wow. I mean, we definitely got to figure out like installation and stuff. Yeah, something like that. Like that would be fire. That would be so cool. That would be super cool. Yeah, that would be fire. I want that. All right, cool. So, so we created a custom plugin. So now we can actually begin to code. All right, so thank you for that. So let's go. We're gonna go to SelfVision Quest here. And then, so yeah, so now I'm not afraid to just open up a file real quick. It was such a scary thing. Like even yesterday, I accidentally leaked my key, but I'm just recording right now. I'm not doing live streams. But now I feel way more comfortable to do a live stream. Way more comfortable. Okay, cool. That is super cool. And then I could just do that. Look at that. So cool. That is super cool. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's one of the main things for live streaming is that right there. And it's a simple plugin. I'm gonna go through it and learn like line by line what it's doing. But today the main focus is working on this. So that took more than expected, about 30 minutes. But guess what? Now we have that code forever, which is awesome. And this is why I love NeoVim. I'm not an expert by any means. Like I do a lot of inefficient things, but I just feel like NeoVim allows me to stay in the keyboard and allows me to have a flow, you know? So that is why we're doing that. Okay, so Drizzle config. This was the issue right here. So it's looking for this. It's looking for a few things here. So this is, so we have our schema, db schema.ts, right? So this is the schema that we want. Okay, and then source db schema. We're gonna do that because we're using better off, and that's what better off wants. And so this is a db URL, and then I think I'm using this. I'm using a db URL here. Okay, URL process.env database. Yeah, how is that even working? What? How is that even working, bro? Like legit, how is that even working? What? DB credentials URL. I go into the env. There's no URL here. I have no idea how that's working. Okay, so let me go here. Okay, so I need to do this right here. Oh, really? I just need to do this. I mean, all this stuff is local except this stuff up here. That stuff. Okay. So env.local. So username, password, no password, and then okay. So that's about it, really, and then we could get. We could bring that stuff in there. And then, okay. And then we could just say, okay. So now we're hiding all the values. Nice. Okay, so that's server. So basically, and oh, I guess this is how I was doing it. What is this for? What's index for? Export DB. I mean, so we have. I'm very confused. So this defines the config. And then now we have DB index. Oh, and then we're just using the connection string. Okay, yeah. And then we're using .env, which I'm gonna be using T3 env right here. Okay. Okay, so I think I got it. And then I'm gonna bring in some route files. Yeah, so I think I got it. Oh, why was that not hidden? Okay, so 50-minute mark. So that's what I didn't want to do, but we did it anyways. 50-minute mark. 50-minute mark. Let's just type that here. So let's do YouTube notes. Day 3 more. Well, luckily we're not live streaming because that would have sucked. Okay, so I just got so used to typing. Okay, so we have everything. What I wanted to do was go to this right here. Okay, so env.ts. So on the client, we probably don't even need core's origin. Server database URL is z.string. That's just a string. And then, I mean, most things are strings. GitHub client ID. And then secret. What's good about this repo is that if you're missing an environment variable, which I have in the past, you're able it breaks if you don't have it, right? So for example, we don't need this stuff anymore. So I'm just gonna delete that. Better off secret. Core's origin, we don't need anymore. At least I don't think so, but so the only other one we actually need is better off secret. That's it. That's all we actually need there. All right, so on the client, that's it. That's all we have. Cool thing now though is that in DB index here we go. Yeah, there we go. DB index. Now instead of config from .env, we could actually run import env import env from here, and then we could just say that should work, and then we don't need any of that. Let me see actually something. What object holds the environment variable at runtime? This is usually process. Can you use? Would I be using this more on the back end or the front end? I mean, they were using process.env, so we're gonna say that process.env. Like most of the stuff is server stuff, and then on the client, yeah, that's what makes this tricky. But yeah, let's. So now if we say env the database URL, I mean that technically should work there. So now if we do bun dev, so we had a web server, but we're not really doing anything with it right now. Okay, so Drizzle should work now, maybe. Cannot read properties of undefined reading find.many. Okay. Drizzle TanStack Start. No. Yeah, this is really what I want here. React TanStack minimum TanStack Start template with better off Drizzle ORM chassis and UI. That's pretty much what I'm building. So Drizzle config.ts. env server source env server create and look at that. You see, I didn't know you could do that. That's pretty cool. So I like that architecture. Yeah, so again, this is why open source is the best. So we're gonna go to, so instead of this, I'm gonna go here to env/client.ts. Yeah, because I was confused. I was like, how do we do server and server and client? But now I know. Okay. So, and then, so basically we just need literally two things, which is const, or so I'm on the server, export const env equals create env, give it an object, pass in server, and then here we're gonna get all that, boom, and then we just tell it the runtime, which this one is process.env. That's it. That's it. That's literally it. And then I'm gonna do the same thing. So I'm just gonna copy all that. And then we're just gonna change this to client. And then on client, we get all this. Okay. So we say client prefix equals vt. All right, and then just this. That's literally it. And then so this becomes import.meta.env. Okay, and that's it. Nice. Off client, boom, off. So this is perfect, man. This is literally perfect. Create server only function. Okay, functions. This is perfect, man. So off client, utils, yep, chassis and index. Okay. So this is in I kind of like this. I really do. Okay, so So this is in DB, and this is his index. Index is like this. Create server only function. Create server only function. Okay. We don't need config anymore. And const driver. Const driver equals Postgres env. So we don't need that. We actually need env/server. So env the database URL. Okay, and then const get database. Can I find Postgres? Import Postgres from Postgres. Drizzle pool. You know what? I'm gonna leave it how it is. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And leave that how that is. Export const db equals get database. So we're making a new. Yeah, so okay, I could just say const get database equals create server only function, and then instead of db equals drizzle this, it's just that, and then get database. That's it. So that's pretty much the exact same thing, because this is the pool and then this is the schema. So that's coming from here, and then he has a folder called schema where, okay, so then schema / index.ts. And then this is gonna go into auth.schema.ts here. So we don't need that. And then now this becomes that, which I like that. That's way more scalable because we're gonna have a lot of different schemas. From @/db/schema/auth schema. Done. And then this becomes @db/schema/index. All right, and then we get all the schemas, create that, boom, done. Okay, so Okay. Docker compose using Postgres and Docker. So that sets up. Okay, so now we got to set up Auth, but first, just want to make sure that Drizzle is working correctly. So Drizzle TanStack. Where? Drizzle. Let's just go Drizzle ORM. And then from here, we should be able. Guides, tutorials, schemas. Get started. Postgres. Okay, create a table, create drizzle config. Okay, this is what I do. npx drizzle push. Let's go here, cd into apps.web. npx drizzle. Okay, so then it says no schema files found for path. If path represents a file, please make. Did I save that? Let's try that again. Drizzle config.ts. Oh, I need to update this. Source db.schema/index. Okay, and then npx. So bun x drizzle kit push. Okay, then it says, what the heck? Oh, am I at here? Okay, so then it says no config path provided. Reading config, yup. Either connection URL, host database are required for either connection URL or host database are required for Postgres data connection. Let me go process.env. So then from here, we're gonna say import env from the server, and then we're gonna use env.database URL. Okay. And then invalid environment variables received undefined. Okay. Okay. env.local. All right. Okay, there we go. I don't know why env.local doesn't work sometimes. But okay, pulling schema from database, no changes detected. All right, so it looks like we're connected. That's what it looks like. All right, values are hidden. All right, let's go back to this repo here. Okay, so they have a few things here. They definitely have a few things that I want to add. Because why not? Breakpoints, true. Verbose is true. Strict is true. And dialect is Postgres. Casing, snake case, and then import type. That's interesting. Why import type config from Drizzle kit? Okay. Okay, so so if I run okay, all right, so uh all right. Okay, added Drizzle kit to start. So localhost now should actually work. That's the idea, right? But now it says, can I read properties of undefined? So, where is this example at? So I know it's in routes demo, and then it's probably in Drizzle. So what is even Drizzle doing? API to do. Yeah, I mean it's doing something. It's just like to do schema, but there's not even a schema. I didn't see any schema. Regardless, await I get to do's. Yeah, we're not gonna use any of this stuff. Any of this stuff. All right, so now the next thing would be start moving the routes from the previous. Okay, so we're gonna create a new pane here. So we can start moving stuff. So cd into web.old, and then cd into source routes, and then cd into apps.web, cd into source routes, right? So this is what we got. This is what we got so far. Okay, so we're gonna move. We've done this already, but we're gonna move that. Everything. Actually, we're gonna copy like last time. Well, that's a good thing. Off client components authenticated. So we can literally just go up. So we already probably got main already. Yeah, we got main. Off client hooks components. So it says that components doesn't exist here. Oh, components doesn't exist in here. CP components. Oh, that's the issue. Okay, so now we actually get all the components. Okay, so off client hooks features. Okay, and then features. No. Components authenticated main. Offline.ts, but this is probably in lib. So I'm guessing there's no lib here. There's a lib there. It says it doesn't exist. Cd into lib. Copy. All right. Cd into routes. So all I did was I removed index and then move. Let's go index. I think this is route index, right? So this is the main index thing here, and then root, and then so that's head content, and then this is header, which I think is just a navigation. I think what I messed up was this. I'm gonna say this scripts.
You know what? Let me hit that.
Really?
I can handle it.
I am certain that you cannot.
Oh, come on. I smoked a ton of weed in the 90s.
Okay, so
Right, the 90s.
so then that leaves us with this. All right, So says not assignable to. Authenticated main dashboard. Okay, so it looks like I'm missing a route here. Oh, what? Copy. Oh. Okay, so how was it? Here it is. There we go. Okay, so says that I'm getting an HTTP error. BD. Can I find module add server off? Check auth. Okay, so we're just gonna delete all this. We're gonna delete that because we're gonna have a whole nother thing, right? And then there we go. So now we got sign in working. Nope, only that. Okay. All right. So this is all we got. Let's see. Okay. So basically, we're just gonna keep going through it as it breaks. Sign in form. Okay, so this is v site URL, which is different now. It is. It's just. env client. What do I call it? V base URL. V base URL. Okay. Which equals localhost. Oh, that's actually nice. I didn't even test this out yet. Wow. Localhost 3000. What else to say? HTTP localhost 3000. And hide that. That's actually really cool because that was literally in real time. Sign in. Sign in form. Can I find module React that was current? What? You can't find React? That's crazy. Oh, this is old. All right, we're just gonna delete that because that's gonna confuse the whole entire repo. And then we're gonna get out of there. Still in private mode. Okay, so sign in form. All right, so now this is what's off. client. And then base URL. Okay. Okay, we just gotta set that up, which is the auth client and all that stuff. And this should probably be the same thing. Okay, and then use off. I'm using that. Store when I'm using that. Dashboard. Books. Data. Store. Integrations. Okay. So we got TanStack here. This is so cool. You get all the plugins. Okay, how much time? We got 7 minutes left. Then time for a break. Okay, so sign in. Off lib client. So off client. So this is where this comes in now. So now I'm just gonna pretty much redo this and use hit stuff. Okay, so lib. I mean, I do have off client here. env slash client. Yeah, base URLs is v base base URL. Create off client. Const off client equals create off client base URL env dot. Okay. Okay. And then so we need off. Move that there. So now we have off client. Then he has auth. Okay. Okay, so now auth.ts. So it looks like I don't even have better off installed. So that seems to be the issue there. So lib dot, and then how he did that too. Env dot client. I mean, we could put this on the server too. We probably don't even need that. env server. env server. So get database, which does this. Which is just db index. I mean, I'm pretty much doing the same thing. I did model after him. So the only difference is that mine is not in lib. It's just in db. Yeah. Okay, so that works there. Okay, so another thing. Schema is schema, but then casing, snake case to match that. And then, okay, what else are we missing here? Okay, so it looks like we don't have Better Off even installed. Bun add Better Off. Better. All right, so we got about 2 more minutes. I'm gonna take a break. So integrations, TanStack Start. First install it, of course. All right. So we don't need this anymore. And then so that already cleared up our errors here. We set that Better Off URL. We got that. We created that. We're setting up the instance now. Database tables. Yeah, we're gonna set all this stuff up now. Integrations, TanStack Start. Okay, so it says we need to mount the handler to a TanStack API input, server route, create a new file. Usage tips, middleware. Okay, perfect. This is what I want, off middleware. Perfect. So we're almost there. Almost there. So we should have everything hooked up today. Hopefully we can start building features soon. So plug in TanStack Start cookies. I didn't see any of this stuff. Social providers, GitHub, Google, email experimental joins, off. All right, so it says argument of type void is not assignable. Drizzle. bun add Postgres. So let's copy one for one what this guy has here. So instead of pool, he has Postgres. So instead of doing this, he has const driver equals Postgres. Import Postgres. Import Postgres from Postgres. Nah, I'm going to there we go. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna use the server function. Lib db slash schema slash index. So that should get rid of that error. It's not void anymore. Okay. So server. I got rid of that, all those errors. Okay, so that is that. So then we have functions, we have middleware, and we have queries. So integrate TanStack Start. And then if we go to routes API off, routes API off, pretty standard here. So then we need okay, we need routes API slash auth slash $TS, and then you need and this. So then off.handler off is get off config. Okay. Authenticated route. Okay, so this is authenticated. Auth pages, route. So yeah, this is perfect. I mean, now what we want to see is, does it just build? To do Drizzle demo. These demo routes. Demo. We're just going to delete all the demo routes. We don't need them. Thank you very much. We do not need you. We love you. Okay. Alright, so. Alright. So now this is in. So we need this here. Sign in form. So off client is in lib off. Okay, so the only difference here is this, right? And now I'm missing radix. Bun radix react separator. Access blocked. This app's request is invalid. Redirect the URI mismatch. Okay, we got something though. That's good. Now I have to go to Google Cloud API services. Yeah, because now the callback isn't that, it's probably that. And then GitHub, same thing. Settings. Oh, that was off anyways. So now that's fixed there. Sign in. No, Google. Okay, so a bunch of stuff. Okay, so we're gonna say interact. We got a ton of errors. I'm trying to see how I could get all these error messages. Okay. Chat and blocks. This one. So this is really the issue here. Yep. Boom. Can we log out? Okay, so all right, so we can't really log out right now, which is fine, but we get to sign in though. All right. All right. So I'm gonna say this added better Drizzle. So this seems, where am I at? Yeah, something's off there. Added better Drizzle. All right, so we don't even need the server anymore, but we got it there. We got it. Yeah, and then we just have to fix our authenticated stuff, authenticated logic. We're gonna keep using this guy's stuff here. I mean, he has a lot of good stuff. Okay, and so we have get user, auth.api get session headers, get request headers, return headers, forward any cyclic headers to the client. If set response header set cookies. So this is pretty cool. You could use React query, of course, with server functions. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we did that, and then this is talking about plugin. Yep. Middleware. Yep. Headers.request.headers. You can then use this one. Yeah, so this is the next thing we're gonna do is add middleware to protect our routes, and then we're gonna use this. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna take a break. I'll be back. We're just gonna pause this. All right. And we're back. So we are gonna continue with integrating the authentication system. So let's see what we got here. So I just have this snippet here, and this should be in libauth. So this is, so that's auth ts. Oh, that's the wrong place. Libauth. So we have auth ts, and then we're gonna do functions.ts. Yeah, so this is functions here, and we're gonna import, create server function, import get request, and set request header from at TanStack Start / server. So let's actually, then we're gonna fix this. A not found error was encountered, but the not found component option was not configured. So we'll configure that. Functions. Okay. So it looks like that works. Set. Oh, okay. Set response header. Right, and then I'm gonna go here, delete that, and then export const get user equals create server function method. It's gonna be get dot handler async on session. We need a off from lib / lib auth. So that should be the, that should be get off config off client. So I think we want it from there, and then we get auth.api.get session. Let me try that. Auth.api. Oh, okay. So session equals await auth.api.get session. Headers equals get request headers. Get request headers. And then we're gonna return headers equals true. Return headers equals true. Okay, const cookies equals session headers. Get set cookie. If cookies dot length set response header set cookie to cookies. Return session dot response dot user or no. Okay, so that's get user. So that's function. And now we're gonna create middleware. Middleware.ts. Import create middleware from content stack start import get request set response header set response status. Okay, and then we're gonna say export const off middleware equals create middleware dot server async const session import auth import auth from lib/auth/auth, and then I'm gonna say away auth.api that session headers get requests headers query disable cookie cache equals true return headers equals true. Okay. Okay, so then const cookies equals session dot headers dot get set cookie. Session is declared, but its value is never used. Property headers off dot API dot get session. So session. Oh, okay. I see that shit. It's headers. Okay. So then clears that up. If cookies are length set response header set response header set cookies if session dot response dot user response status for one throw new unauthorized session dot response is possibly no. Return next context user session dot response dot user. I think, yeah. Okay. And then queries. Okay, so that's the middleware. And then queries.ts. import query options, import get user, export const off equals export const of equals query options query key user query function signal get user signal. Okay, and then export type off query result equals awaited return type of get user. Okay. All right. So we shouldn't have any errors here. Okay, so that works. So we technically signed in there. We just gotta fix this right here. And then so okay, so we don't have this backend anymore, so we don't have to worry about this. I don't worry about any of this. I don't worry about none of that. Tailwind. Yeah. Okay. Fix. C. Okay, so okay, so added actually let me use OCO. Okay, so okay, let's go back to this project here. Okay, so this is the dashboard. Oh, your component could literally just be an outlet? That's fire. Dashboard. No, Auth route. So this right here. So instead of that, you literally just have outlet. Right? And then we could just say before load context and then we're gonna import off query options. Okay, so now let's say const user equals await context query client ensure query data, and then say dot 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 off query options, revalidate. Console.log user if or if not user, throw redirect to sign in, return user. Okay, so slash dashboard. So there we go. We got the user. We got the user. So that's from the backend log. There we go. So that actually ran. So now if we let me. Okay, so that's actually running. So it did find the user. Sign in. Let me see. TanStack, this one. Log in. Redirect to route. Yeah, so this is on login. So sign up, sign in. Okay, so this is all I have to do here. Okay, so on this route, we are going to redirect and also import off query options. Okay. And then I'm gonna say before load goes async context const redirect URL equals. I don't know why he's doing that. Const user. So this is pretty much the same thing we did here. So there's no need to retype all that. But instead we're saying if user throw redirect dashboard. Yeah, because I want that TypeScript thing. And then we're saying return redirect redirect URL equals. Oh, I guess that's why, because he's using it in two different places. Dashboard. Ah, I see. Const redirect URL equals dashboard. Redirect URL. Redirect URL. Okay, so then I could just change one, and then it changes everything. redirect URL. Okay, so all right, okay, so that looks good. So I should be able to at least test this. If I try to go to sign in, look at that, straight to the dashboard. Also, what else? Sign up, straight to the dashboard. Nice, that is working flawlessly. Probably even forgot password too. Let's see, forgot password. Straight to the dashboard. Nice. Okay, so this is working. Okay. Boom. Okay, so I'm gonna close this. I wonder why this person used this pattern as opposed to what Better Off recommends here, creating a middleware. Yeah, this is what Better Off recommends. So you create a middleware. Let me actually see. Because what I'm doing is off query options. Gets the signal get user. So we're using get user, which, and then, so what's the point of off middleware then? If we're not even using it. I mean, it's there. We have it. And then I guess we can import a server off middleware. I guess we have more control. I don't know. Okay. So we have that. Now what we gotta do is sign out. Nav user, which is this one. And I'm gonna say on click handle sign out. Or we could just do that and then come here, const handle sign out, and then we'll just do this, sign out. That's okay for now. Localhost 3000. Const handle sign equals. Okay, so we signed in, we say log out, and then it just says sign out. Cool. Just says sign out. Good. All right, perfect. That's awesome. So now, we just bring in import sign out from my client here at, and then we'll just call sign out. Sign out. Const async. I think. Is it like this? Yeah, I think it's like that. Because the async function, this is the function. Okay. Okay, so signed in, and then we also need import redirect. And I'm gonna say redirect to sign in. I think that's how you do that. Please work. Nope. Dang. The same thing happened. I don't know why redirect doesn't work. It's such a weird thing. Yeah, that does not work. Import router. Router. TanStack. Navigate. So we want to use navigate. Okay, let's see if this works. Import use navigate. And then const navigate equals use navigate. And then so we're gonna say navigate to that. We're gonna wait sign out, navigate to this. Okay. All right, so okay, sign in. Come on. See, something weird happens in the URL where like I think it doesn't do it fast enough, but it tries to go to sign out, but it's too fast, and then it boots it back. Do I have to like invalidate the cache or something? I think that might be it. I'm using TanStack Start. Better off. Do I have to cache? Tries to navigate. Come back to dashboard, but then reload. Sign in page. Where's the sign up? Okay, so it says, so use query client. Let me see. Okay, so and then this one is saying use router. So use router, router, router. Dot navigate. Okay, so and then use mutation. Import use mutation and query client. Okay. Const query client equals use query client. So router in here, and then const mutation equals use mutation. Mutation function is sign out. Oh, so I'm calling that. Okay. On success, async query.client.invalidate query key session. I don't know, bro. No, user. I might have to create a function higher in the stack. Okay, so better auth. These are the better. Oh, dang, that's huge. I doubt it could take that much. That still might be too much. Yeah, that's probably way too much. Oh, well, we could check actually. Query. So we just have user, but we don't have session. That's it. This is all we have. Invalidate, reset, remove, trigger. That's it. That's all we got. Router. It might be able to do it. Let's see. Let me ask the same question to Claude. I wish I had. Yeah. Claude. Let me give it. Oh. Uh-oh. Everything's frozen. Dang. Dang. Dang, I literally crashed Zellage. Oh, that sucks. That really does suck. Yeah, I'm gonna have to close that whole session. Um, oh, actually, ZLS. Zellage. Alas. session. Zillage. So it's Zillage delete session. Okay. So I literally crashed. Oh my gosh. This is no good. Oh wow. Let me restore. That's hanging. Dang. What the heck? Zellage. Quit. Force quit. Quit. Force quit. Okay. All right. Okay. Zellage LS. Wow. Wow. Okay. So, SelfVision Quest. Wow. Z projects self. Self. Okay. All right. We don't need that anymore. Okay, we're back. After nuking Cloud Code and Zellage, we're back. Okay, so we don't need that. We don't need that. So right now we're just gonna work off these terminals here. I mean, we have the server, but we're not even doing anything with it. We're just gonna keep it for now, because the idea is to have a React Native app, and then probably an Electron app too, and then the web is gonna be the API and the web version essentially, and everything's gonna be in TypeScript and JavaScript, because you could write JavaScript everywhere. All right, so we're back there. So let's boot that back up. Okay, so if we try to go to dashboard, I guess we are authenticated from the looks of it. Yeah, I mean, it does look like we are authenticated. So if we go to application cookies, yeah, so better off session data. So we see we are authenticated here. Okay. Okay, and then now once we log out, try to do anything. So let's see. Oh, because we didn't even. Okay, because we're not doing what we were doing before. Okay, so did this person implement sign out? Let's see. Let's see if this person did. Sign out. Sign out. Look at this. Sign out. Let's see. Router done invalidate. Sign out. Here we go. This is the functionality we need. Okay. This is good to know. Okay. Router.invalidate. So all right, so we're just gonna use that functionality here. So we also need, so we don't need this. We need use query client. And then we also need use router. And then import sign out. Oh, there we go. Oh, we got it over here. Okay, so import sign out, import off query options. Right. So okay, so we have these. Sign out. Okay, I don't know if we do this. Okay, so await sign out fetch options. Look at that. On response, look at this. Look at this. Query client dot set query data auth query options dot query key. No. So what is this doing? Set query data. Set query data. Okay, so and then we're gonna say await router dot invalidate. That's it. And then we don't have to navigate anywhere. And then I want to sign out. Okay. All right, let's see if that works. That should work because we're following this whole thing here. Okay, so I'm signed in. Log out. Log out. Console.log. Log out. Clicked. What am I missing here? Log out clicked. Invalid hook call. Hooks can only be called inside of the body of a function component. This could happen. Okay. Hooks can only be called in the body of a function component. So that means this stuff needs to be out there. Success! Success! Oh my gosh. Let's go. Let's go. Log out. Let's go. Look at that. Let's go. Query key user router to invalidate. So sign out fetch options on response. I thought it was on success. I mean, it still worked, but log out. Same thing. Let's go. Let's go. Like, what is, where did this person get the API for that, bro? It has to be in here somewhere. Options. Hooks. Account session. Authentication. Integrations. Concepts. Client. All right. So on success, look at that, off client, fetch options, fetch options. The client uses a library called BetterFetch to make requests to the server. You can pass any default fetch options to the client by passing fetch options object. So fetch options. Okay, so we're using BetterFetch. Fetch schema. Handling errors. Plugins logger. All options. Extra options. On success. There we go. On success. So basically, we have access to all this on request, on success, on response, on error, on retry, timeout, plugins, base URL, throw, off. There we go. There we go. Sign out. So then you can pass it. These things here on success. Wow. And then set query data. What is React query? TanStack React query. Query data. Or we could do query client. Query client. Query client. Query client. Use query client. The current query client instance. So now this is the instance of query client. We get query client back, use query client here, and then query client provider. I wish they just gave me the API just for the query client. Query client right here, API reference. Okay, so, and then we're gonna set query data. Set query data. Okay, set query data is a synchronous function that can be used to immediately update a query's cached data. If the query does not exist, it will be created. If the query is not utilized by the query, and they found 5 minutes of query. Okay, the difference between that you already synchronously have the data available. So this is so basically you just need the key, and then what are you gonna update it to? If non-function, if a function updated. Okay, so basically we're using this to get the key, which that's the key, and then we're just updating it to null. So basically, yeah, we're invalidating it essentially, invalidating that, and then we're await router invalidate. So now use router. Okay, here. Use router hook. Router. Invalidate. 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 Router context. Invalidating the router context. How about invalidate. Router.invalidate. If you need to invalidate the context that you are passing into the router, you can tell the router to recompute the context. This is useful when you need to update the context here. Okay, so that's what we did. That's literally all we did. Was update the React query state and also invalidated the router, which automatically booted the person and kicked them out. Wow. Okay. I didn't even put a timer, but I started at like, I think I was at like 150. So this is about an hour in. Okay, so we could do another like 30 minutes. Session number 2. Okay, so let's save this. Wow. We finally got that to work. We'll probably extract that into a function somewhere, honestly. But that definitely, or like a hook, something. But for now, that's all we need, right? That's log out. That's how you log out. So we don't need this get anymore. And that's gonna give us access to this. Log out user. Okay, so that's finally working, man. Wow. That's literally why we even switched to TanStack Start, because that was not working natively at all. So forgot password. Okay, so sign in. That's probably not handle. Forgot. Email submit. Console.log. Send reset password. Okay, and then we don't need that. And import env from client. Yeah, from client. And then const site URL equals env dot that. Okay, then we can use that somewhere. Handle email submit. Handle email submit. So all we really need is just email. Console.log email. Right? So that's all we need for that. So this should work now. If I just type, all right, that's my email. Okay. If I just reset password, send password reset, boom, and then we got the email there. Nice. Okay. So we definitely got to do that. Create auth layout, install dashboard. Yep. So now we have all this stuff working. Create auth layout. Okay. Shad. So ShadCN has this much better, like way better looking stuff here. I don't know if they call it blocks or what. I think it is blocks. Because they have way better authentication blocks. Log in. This is the first one. Then they got this one. I kind of like this one better. It's either that or this. Okay, so I'm thinking this and then the logo on the side. And the logo is also going to be there too. Yeah, and then we could also change that to something else. Okay, this is what I actually want. Okay, and then, yeah. And then on mobile, it's just that. Okay, cool. So that's full screen. Alright. Yeah, so this is the one that we want. This is the actual login, and then we'll figure out how to do all that stuff. Okay, let's actually go to cd app/web. Okay. So is it in login form? Yeah, login with GitHub. Yeah. Or continue with. Okay, so this is just log in. So right now we got sign in form. All right, this is what we're using right now. Okay. So this is something that I'd use GLM for. All right, so I just installed a new shadcn UI component called at. Where is this guy at? Yeah, I figured. Cd apps.web. Okay, I just cn login component, and right now I have that sign in and sign up to preserve. Swap out the starting node. Make everything the same. Start first to write up a plan to update. All right. Let's see. Yeah, because that's something that we could just use TanStack. Or I mean not TanStack, but we could just use Cloud Code for, because it's just login. So this is sign up. Yeah, so this is, oh, matter of fact, we have log in and then we have sign up. It's actually two different. Sign up is actually different. Okay. For the sign up, I just installed another component, sign up form. I used to replace it. Update the plan for this place. Okay. This is just like refactoring, you know? Once I understand how the system works, it's okay to use Cloud Code. My thing is that I'm trying to make sure that I understand how the system works. That's my main thing. Okay, so the idea is, okay, pure UI form component has email. Pure has name. Place card structure with login form component. Keep all state management. Add on-submit prop to the login form with existing handle email sign. Add Google Auth missing. Yeah, replace card structure. Yeah. All right. Go ahead. All right, I like that. Just on submit. Okay, so yeah, that's gonna be way better. And this is just more for prototyping, because eventually I'm gonna style everything and make it look really, really nice. Have my own like library and stuff. This looks like a magic link. I mean, I do kind of like this, but we'll see. Pause blocks. Add a block. Okay, so yeah, this is, like I said, like Shadcn UI is great for prototyping. It's great for prototyping because then you just have the skeleton, right, of your app, and then that's it. You're good to go. Hover card. That's cool. Command. Oh yeah, that's gonna be dope. Date picker. Yes. Drawer. Yes. It's gonna be so good. So good, so good. Okay, so that's been cooking in the background here. So login form. There's a port conflict. So cannot sign in form, cannot find module. Sign in form. Localhost, sign in. Okay, log into your account. Sign up. Sign up with Google. Okay, so can you make it so that the social buttons are stacked on top of each other, and they're censored. Also, I want you to add as well, just like the getter. Sign in and out. Okay, the only thing I feel like I'm missing is padding. Like this needs a massive amount of padding. Like this, like. Oh. Okay. See, this is where it gets tricky. Okay, so card is not defined. What do you mean card is not defined? Card is not defined now. Discard all changes. Okay, so this is what I want to do. Clear. I want to clear. So I want you to extract the logic for signing in and out from the @sign and @sign. Sign up. I will be placing the component and I will get into the new ones. Yeah, this is gonna be better. I think tomorrow we'll be able to actually work on some core features, you know, and actually start planning this thing out. Because now it feels like we have authentication done. And then once we have a feature, we'll be able to like paywall it and then add what do you call it? Add payments. Okay, so it's gonna make a hook called you sign up and you sign in. Okay. So that's dope. Okay. Nice. Okay, so we just got two hooks. Hooks, you sign in. All right, so hooks, you sign in. So this is the hook that we just got. And let's do this. Okay, so we set this. This is the sign in state, email, password, interface, sign in actions, set email, set password, handle email sign in, handle Google sign in, handle GitHub sign in. All right. And then we have email. Okay. Async function handle sign in. Yep. So it's pretty much the same thing. And then we're just returning it. So we have the state and then we have, this is perfect. So, and then this is pretty much probably the same thing. Sign up. Okay. Password. Okay, perfect. Callback URL. What we could do is const callback. We could say callback URL equals this, since we have it in multiple places. And then let's say callback URL. We just add that. Let's callback. All right, so I'm gonna do the same thing here, and then callback URL there, and then also callback URL there as well. Perfect. So this is use auth. We're not using that though. You sign in, and then so all they did to create this hook interface. So this is like the hook interface. So then we say sign up state and sign up actions. That's the type. Let's use sign up. Okay, so use sign up. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to sign in form, and then all this stuff we're no longer gonna need. And then we're no longer gonna need any of this. And then what we got? Sign in. So this one's gonna be sign in. Okay, so let's put that one there. And then we are going to import use sign in. At slash features slash auth slash hooks slash use sign in, because we're in the sign in form. And then we're gonna say const email equals use sign in. And then we should, yep, there we go. Error, loading, set email, set password. And it should literally just be this, like, because I'm already calling these functions, this is probably all that I have to do. And then handle, yeah, that's it, because I'm already calling these functions. Handle GitHub, there. Handle GitHub sign in. Handle GitHub sign in. Okay. Errors, the clip. Okay. So that's literally it. So that should literally just work. And then sign up form. This one, same thing. Just clean all this stuff up. And then we're just gonna say const email equal use sign up, and then it's gonna import it, auto import, which is beautiful. And it's the same thing. Password error loading set email set password handle GitHub handle Google handle email, and then boom. So this is sign up. Handle okay. So probably, yeah, there's probably a name there, and then set name as well. Okay. So now all this should just work. Log in with Google. That just worked. Log out. Filter resolve. Forgot password form. Off. Okay. Also, can you do forgot password? Okay, let me put her off. Forgot. Request password reset. Email sending function. On password reset. Request password reset. Reset password. I really don't even want to deal with email and password, man. I really don't. But I know it's a business requirement for a lot of things. So I'm gonna do it anyways. Okay, so we're gonna say password. Token. Okay. So I wonder. Because I'm using these. Yeah, so if I bring this one in, this is login. So now that's login. And we gotta sign up. That's okay. Okay, so we got those two new files there, which is login form and sign up form. So that's login form. That's sign up. And then we're gonna rename this to sign in form. So, okay. Let's save this. Added hooks for sign in, sign out. Okay, so all right, so I just added two new components. And I want to update the slash sign with sign in form. Sign up. So sign in and sign up. Okay, so it's sign in, sign up, sign up. Old folks to oh, it's called login. I gotta update that. Update sign up. Okay. What's up with this? Discard those changes. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. That's a sign up form. Pull that sign form. And then sign up. Okay, so clear. I want you to update us and us to use yeah. Google. That's future. So we're gonna go to off route. What the heck is going on, bro? Bro. I think this is literally the same one, bro. Oh my God. What the heck? Let's delete that. Let's delete this. This doesn't have an image. No, bro. This does not have an image. I mean, it works, which is good. That's not what we want. We want this. Image, you see? Image. Sign up form. Page. What we can do is, this could be the wrap. This right here. Okay. Gallery vertical and I want you to do edit components. So this needs to be off @/off. stops so that all of the sign forms and the left. Okay, there we go. That is what I'm talking about. Okay. Also, I want you to links for save as. Where are my projects at? SelfVision Quest, apps, web, source, app. Is it in public? Yes, it is in public. Okay. There we go. I'll fix that just for now. Okay, so sign in. Forgot your password. Look at that. Back to login. There we go. That looks actually good. Okay, so all right, can you update the homepage as well? Make it look better, just as a placeholder with the links and stuff. All right, so stuff. This is high level engineering here. Stuff. Okay. Boom. Sign out. Okay. Home. Whoa. Okay. All right. Wow. That just happened so fast. Can you extract the navigation? Where is There we go. Okay. Perfect. Added placeholder. Structure. I mean, it's honestly beautiful how fast we could go from nothing to now everything is working correctly. Look at this. Perfect. All right, guys, that is it for today. I'm gonna stop recording here. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm going to continue this journey of building out this app. This is my dream app. I've been trying to build this for, I don't know, for 5 years. But yeah, so we're there. We're getting there. We have authentication working. We have a router working. Full stack, front to back. Everything is in TypeScript. I think it's cool. All right, guys. See you tomorrow.